Indians. Yes, indeed. Indians. And why do I use the term Indians in a frustrated kind of fashion or tone? I think somebody said that they saw 5 Indian guys in a bar in Pattaya sitting around one bottle of water. Hi guys, welcome back. This is Alpha Omega Occasionally. Do you know something? I don't know what's going on. Well, I don't know what's going on in Thailand. I keep hearing stories, and we've touched on this before, and everyone's touching on it now. And Tom, Dick, and Harry is going on about the fact that Thailand's tourism industry is in crisis, and it seems to be. I mentioned it in my previous video about the lack of foreign tourists that I have seen where I live in Bangkok. I'm not in Bangkok at the moment. I'm in Pontiac. This place doesn't get tourists, full stop. But the statistical information is that it's down, I think it's 12%. Or sorry, no, it's not. Tourism represents 12% of the Thai gross domestic product. And that's a pretty big chunk. And when you have, apparently, this is what I've heard, hotel bookings are down, what is it, like 25%, something like that in the region, if not more. And Chinese tourists aren't coming here anymore, by and large, because of negative publicity, because of things that happened with some Chinese actor. And of course, when you've got an insular society, all it takes is a media report to put the shits up you. One media report to put the shits up you, and you can't make up your own mind. Your mind is made up. You're brainwashed by that media, that government media. And I'm not going to go into details on that because I don't want to get political. But basically, the Chinese ain't coming. And who is coming? Who is making up? Well, I'm not saying it's bringing up the rear. It's not bringing up the rear because it's not improving. Indians. Yes, indeed. Indians. And why do I use the term Indians in a frustrated kind of fashion or tone? Well, it's not meant to be derogatory. But you see, I've had experience of Indian tourists. And of course, all tourist groups can be labelled in such and such a way. But I'll just say, and this is not racist at all, Indians travel in groups, and they don't have the same spending patterns as, say, Europeans, and dare I say, well, Chinese travel in groups as well. But as far as I know, in my limited knowledge on this, but when I say limited statistical knowledge, but practical knowledge, I'm speaking about practical experience. Indians travel in groups, and they don't seem to have the same spending power as, say, Chinese or us guys. We don't travel in groups. Westerners don't travel in groups. We travel alone. And we spend a bloody fortune in go-go bars and massage parlours and all the rest of it. Indians don't do that. I heard a comment on my video that I made about Indians or Pattaya is overrun by Indians. I leave a link to the description on that video. But a comment on that video was that I think somebody said that they saw 5 Indian guys in a bar in Pattaya sitting around one bottle of water. That's what I was told. But Thailand's crisis has what the fuck? The Thai government have put forward certain initiatives to try to bolster or to increase or boost tourism numbers, and the incentive of free flights is just that. Yeah, I'm at the Alpine Golf Club in the middle of nowhere. This is somewhere in Pontiac. on a road that just goes on and on and on forever. And you've got this oasis here, the Alpine Golf Club. There's no Indians here. There's no Chinese here. This is all for Thai. This is an elite golf club. That's the main entrance there behind me. So the reason I'm here, well, I might as well be here than anywhere else. Gives a bit of continuity to the video. By the way, if you're interested, I don't know what the what membership is here, but I see here that you can get married here, wedding packages, full day package 890,000 baht, and then that's quite cheap really. And then a wedding package, wherever that is, 69,000 baht. And I noticed they've got a picture of a Farang. Have a look at this. On their billboard advertisement, they've got a picture of a Farang husband with a Thai bride. I mean, that's what they're aiming at, I suppose. But you see, there's no Farang tourists up here. But there's no tourists up here, full stop. Yeah, I'm up here at the Alpine Golf Club in the middle of nowhere. And we might as well be here as anywhere else to talk about the free flights. Yes, free flights. You may be aware of it because this isn't breaking news by any means. But the Thai government are launching, or about to launch, or about to approve a launch of an incentive to boost tourism by giving 200,000 free flights to tourists who meet certain criteria. In other words, you got to be. That's a low loader. Look. Sorry for deviating, but for tourists who meet the criteria, and the whole idea of this is obviously to boost tourism and to bring tourism to parts of Thailand that don't enjoy a robust tourist trade at the moment, i.e. it doesn't include Phuket, it doesn't include Chiang Mai, it doesn't include Pattaya, and I don't think it includes Bangkok. And a number of airways have already signed up to this, notably I think Thai Airways, Air Asia, Thailand, Nok Air, and a few others. You'll see it if you Google it, you'll see it. But apparently it's pending approval by the Thai cabinet. It was supposed to be approved, or went to vote, I think, on the 5th of September. This is the 6th of September. I haven't seen anything of it, good, bad or indifferent. But there's an example of how the Thai government are trying to regenerate an interest in Thailand as a tourist destination. I've no idea what this is behind me here. Sale office. They mean sales office. This thing drives me mad about Thai translations into English. They just Google Translate because there's no plurals in the Thai language. They just put in the singular and they get the singular Google Translate, like sale office. It's the sales office, for God's sake. Anyway, whatever they're selling, I don't know what they're selling. It must be a private residential area. I don't know. I'm not sure. People ask me, why do I stand in the middle of the road when I'm making videos? Why not? I'm not in the middle of the road, I'm on the side of the road, and I'm not in any harm's way. So what about this disastrous tourism crisis that's facing Thailand? To be honest with you, I would imagine that one of the reasons maybe that Thailand is experiencing a reduction in tourist numbers, especially from a European point or for a Westerner point of view, is the fact that they're clamping down, and quite rightly so, on things like education visas, where people are abusing that, and the bank account stuff, whereby, but not bogus, but there was a loophole in the law and the procedure, let's say, where if you wanted to get a retirement visa, you had to have 800,000 and still do Thai baht in your bank account. Well, you could get someone to do that for you apparently, and rest in your account for one day, and then get your visa and give the money back to them. But apparently you can't do that anymore, so they're clamping down on that. That's going to have an effect. Now, quite rightly so, I suppose, but that's going to have an effect on the numbers of people coming here. And you know, you look at all this together, clamping down on bank accounts, clamping down on visas, Chinese media giving Thailand a bad press. It accumulates. It all accumulates into this where we find ourselves now. And I say we because I live here. I'm beginning to see what the fellas are talking about when they criticise me for standing in the middle of the road. Well, come on. I started wearing my seatbelt and I'm wearing my cap, and my shirt isn't unbuttoned because there's no buttons in it. So give me a break. I'm getting there. Are you one of these guys that has now decided that you won't come to Thailand for your holiday, or you won't come to Thailand to retire? I've got more than one comment on this channel about fellas saying just that. I spoke to one guy in Russia yesterday online, and when I told him about the free flights thing, he really got interested. I'm sure that's going to work. I'm sure that's going to have a very positive impact on tourism in Thailand. But you got to say at what cost. I remember having a boss years ago when I was in sales, and we were selling mobile phones. That's what I used to do back in the mid 1990s. I sold analog phones with no SIM cards, and you used to have to program in the ESN number. There was no IMEI number. The ESN number into a Motorola A130, and that's a Motorola A130 there. But we used to give these phones away free because the networks would subsidise the cost of the phone to the consumer in order to get them on a contract for 12 months, you see. They make their money back. And of course, we were giving the phones away for free. And of course, people didn't value the phone, they didn't value the contract, and then they lapsed on their contract. And I remember my boss said to me, anyone can give something away. That's not sales. That's not sales. So they're giving free flights away as an incentive. But will this, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what. It'd be interesting to see how that pans out and how people react to it. But I can tell you, there's a lot of competition between Thailand now and Vietnam, for example, and other places. Malaysia. I have another Russian friend who went on a 10-day vacation about 2 weeks ago. He didn't come to Thailand. He went to Malaysia. So there you go. Thailand's had it very good for many years. And you see, nothing lasts forever. The British Empire didn't last forever. The American Empire is, China is there nipping at your heels. So nothing lasts forever. So maybe it is time for Thailand to make a huge change in the way they approach tourism. They've had it fairly handy over the last 20-30 years. But because they're becoming more westernized as a country, things change here, and it's not as easy to live here as it used to be. And if it's not as easy to live here as it used to be for people like me, that could probably have a knock-on effect to tourists. It's not as attractive a place to come as it used to be. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, because Thailand is beautiful. It's a wonderful place to come. But the other thing is the Thai baht is pretty strong, and you don't get as much bang for your buck as you used to. There's a lot of factors. I just think that Thailand is one of the best places I just think that Thailand is one of the most wonderful countries in the world to live and to visit. They do hospitality in a way that is unequaled anywhere I've ever been. You've ever been to 7-Eleven, I said this before, in Bangkok or anywhere else in Thailand, the level of customer service it puts every other country in the shade. So I hope things work out. I hope Thailand gets through this crisis and gets back to where it should be. But in order to get back to where it should be, I think making it more attractive to come, i.e. visas and stuff like that, would be a more direct way to entice tourists back here. I am absolutely melting. I really am. I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to keep it varied as possible, lads. Make sure, I know you will, leave a comment in the comment section. do all those wonderful things like subscribe, click the subscribe button, the like button, share button, all those wonderful things. And I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. I just want to tell you that there's no way, there's absolutely no way I could afford to join Alpine Golf Club. And even if I could, I'll quote my countryman Oscar Wilde: golf is a good walk spoiled. There you go. Bear that in mind, lads, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for joining me.